Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be checking out Action Comics issue 1064 by Joshua Williamson and Rafa Sandoval. House of Brainiac begins here as the Superman family and all of Metropolis go about their day as normal. Only this day is different as Lois has a day off. She's taking full advantage of it, getting together with her husband and friends to do some yoga in the park. Williamson really falls into this family setting so well. His Superman ongoing, while the family is present in that book, isn't really the focus of it. It's mainly Superman and Lex's relationship, whereas the Action Comics book, when Philip Kennedy Johnson was writing it, were the core focus. The family was the core focus of that book. And I found myself several times while reading this book having to remind myself that this is Williamson, not Johnson, since Joshua does a great job continuing Philip's work from his time on the book, making it feel like a natural extension of his post-War World issues. The city's peace is rudely interrupted by Brainiac, who launches an all-out attack on the city of Tomorrow with his drone and Zarnian army. The switch of the book into all-out chaos from kind of peace and quiet was done really well, and Williamson uses this to kind of ramp up the story and the action as the book goes on. It just never stops once those drones drop onto the city. And we get to see the Superman family react to the attack, with Superman and his family on the front line and Lex, who is busy on work release in Supercorp, becoming trapped in the building with his own family and the police as LL01, his artificial intelligence he made to help Superman, is revealed to have been taken over by Brainiac and have been a spy this entire time. Williamson uses this as an opportunity to give it a little bit of exposition, a little bit of Brainiac's plan to us and what he plans on doing, revealing that the 12th level intellect had this kind of epiphany where he realized that gaining power gains him knowledge and vice versa, and so Superman is the most powerful being, in the universe, and makes his city the most powerful place in the universe, and thus Brainiac wants it. Brainiac wants to know how and why it's so powerful. Williamson also teases a larger story here, as Brainiac also reveals that when Lex worked with him during the Scott Snyder run on the Justice League, he saw something in Brainiac's mind, and everything he's done as of late, from setting up Supercorp to working with Superman, to triggering his old villains Grafton Farm, it's all been to prepare Superman for what is coming. We don't know what that thing is yet, but I love that Williamson is already, setting the groundwork for what I have to imagine will be another crisis or like some other big event later down the line in the Superman book. He's done this a number of times in his Superman ongoing, as well as stuff in Dark Crisis of Infinite Earths and all that sort of stuff, where he just sort of peppers through these little offhanded comments, or a concept or a character appears here. You don't think much of it, and then it sort of comes back, and it's really shown in that last issue of his Superman ongoing where he had things from 6 issues prior coming back into the story to help make sense and help sort of bridge the gap between pieces of the storyline and have it make sense, and he does it so well. And it's something that I don't think a lot of writers can do very well without it feeling very ham-fisted or last minute, but he does it really well and makes it feel very organic, so kudos for him for being able to do that. Veteran Superman artist Rafa Sandoval draws the action-packed issue and treats us to some fantastic action sequences filled with some really cool use of superpowers. Rafa captures the scale of the invasion really well too, filling pages with just hundreds of Brainiac drones and Zarnian soldiers, but he never makes it feel overstuffed, and it's a great contrast to the earlier pages of the book where it's kind of full of space and vibrant colors and you're just following Lois through the city and it's light and airy. It's great contrast to that, all that action once those drones drop on the city. Brainiac's attack isn't just on the city either, as he takes Mercy and Lena Luthor, giving Lex some proper skin in the game this time round, and again saddling him with Superman, whose whole family apart from Lois is also abducted by Brainiac. I had a theory back when this event was first teased in the Superman ongoing that maybe Brainiac is interested in the fact that Superman and Lex both have families in one way or another, and it's seemingly changed who they are, and maybe this is his attempt to sort of try and figure out the mysteries of a family and how they somehow make these people better and more powerful. And we're actually going to see him get his own family with the Brainiac Queen, and maybe this is his attempt to try and emulate that and try and emulate his own family in some misguided attempt to gain more power. It's a bit too early to tell if that's where the story is going, but I have a feeling that there's going to be hints at that throughout the story. It's a really interesting way to take Brainiac, because it's not something we've done before where he's had like a proper family around him. There's been other offshoots, Brainiac 5 and all these people, his daughter and all that sort of stuff, but it's never been like a proper family. Superman's family aren't the only ones taken, as many of his villains and friends from across Metropolis are also taken, and even Lex gets taken in the end, diving in front of a blast meant for Superman. Brainiac takes his trophies and then just leaves Earth as quick as he came, leaving Metropolis broken, and before the book ends, Williamson treats us to one final reveal. That Brainiac is not working alone, but with other versions of himself. Most likely multiversal versions, as they all look like different versions of Brainiac from across the timeline. You got the 70s one, you got the animated series one, there's the New 52 one, the Convergence one, there's all these different Brainiacs are there, and I had a feeling this would happen. You gotta have other Brainiacs involved somehow, and we've seen stuff like this happen before, but I'm excited to see how Williamson utilizes them, and whether this is, again, going back to that family concept I've been theorizing about, whether this is Brainiac's misguided attempt to try and create his own family. House of Brainiac is off to an explosive start this week in Action Comics, not wasting any time getting into the action and propelling the story forward in some really fun and interesting ways, while also setting up some interesting mysteries for the book and its tie-ins to explore over the next 3 months. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Check it out. You can basically come into this event without having read anything else, because there really wasn't much setup. There was a couple of pages here and there in an annual and some backups in the Superman ongoing, but really you can just breeze straight into this event and understand what is going on, and that's a sign of a good writer in Joshua Williamson. So definitely check it out if you have been on the fence with these Superman books. They're absolutely worth your time, and hopefully you guys keep checking out my reviews for this series, because I'll be reviewing every single issue and the 2 tie-ins that will be coming out for the event as well. So stay tuned to the Fortress of Solitude for more updates on the House of Brainiac.